y'all, it's Justine from the Finkelstein Memorial Library, and today we are going to be doing a DIY screen printing craft. In your craft kit, you're going to get a little black pouch or like a pencil case. This is what you're going to be screen printing on. You're going to get an embroidery hoop. You're going to get this mesh cloth. You'll get screen printing ink, and it'll be labeled ink. You'll get Mod Podge, and it'll be labeled Mod Podge. And you will get a craft stick and a paintbrush. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to unscrew the embroidery hoop and get those two separate pieces. Then you're going to put the mesh cloth through, not through, but like, onto the hoop. Because that's going to essentially be the fabric that we're going to be putting through here. And then you want to screw that back on, like so. Pull it taut. And yeah, so you're screwing that. And then you'll have this. And then you want to cut the excess fabric because we don't need the rest of it. So you'll cut whatever is left around here just to make it easier to work with. And I gave you extra fabric in case you mess up or I don't know, in case you want to do like a different design or something like that. Yeah. Okay, and then now that you have it like this, you will just make sure this is super tight. Okay, and make sure it's like pulled through all the way, etc., etc. Okay, and then you can either draw or print out a design and trace it onto here. This is like the part that's like inside part, if you can tell. So you're gonna draw onto this part, and like keep in mind this is what it'll look like on your pouch. Like it'll be right in the center here or wherever you want it to be. Like I don't know. Okay. So I actually printed a design, and I will trace that design onto this back part, and yeah, I'll be back. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell, but I just drew on my design, and then now we can move on to the next step, which is taking the Mod Podge. And any part of the design, you'll flip it over. So you drew on this side, right? Like you drew on the side that's kind of like the stuff is sticking out, whatever. You're going to put Mod Podge on the parts of the design that you don't want painted. So like you see how like I have my little like image here. Like I'm going to do like the background of it. I'm going to put Mod Podge on it. Like any part that I don't want painted. So any part that I want to leave black, like the bag, is what I'm gonna put Mod Podge on. I don't know if you can see it. And you're gonna do it on this side, not on the side that you drew on. Okay? So I'm gonna do that and then I'll come back. Okay, so I just drew my design. I don't know if you can see it that well. But anyways, so now the next step is, since I drew my design on the inner part, all this stuff coming out, on the back of it, I'm going to take my Mod Podge and I'm going to, what's it called? I'm going to paint around the parts that I don't want painted white with the screen print. So any parts that I want to leave black, I'm going to put the Mod Podge on it. And yeah, so I just use my paintbrush to do that, and I'm gonna do that now. So I am back, and I Mod Podged the parts that I did not want inked, and yeah, so it should look something like this when you're done, Mod Podging. And I recommend that you let this dry overnight. You definitely don't want, the next step is to put it face down on here and then ink it. You definitely don't want the Mod Podge to stick onto our little canvas bags. So I recommend letting it dry overnight. Just leave it, but essentially you have your screen done. And yeah, so I'll be back once this is dry. Okay, so now my design is dry, and the Mod Podge is dry. I didn't wait overnight. I actually just waited a few hours, but now I'm going to put it face down onto my canvas bag, and just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my ink, and I'm going to put some onto the screen. I'm just gonna slather it like that, and then I'm gonna take like a card, an ID, whatever you have, and I'm just going to press it down and just like kind of keep it pressed down like this, just to distribute the ink throughout. And you don't really need a lot of ink. You just kind of need to apply it evenly and apply it with enough pressure to get all of the design down, as you can see. So as you can see, the screen ink is applied, and now you have to make sure that you remove the ink while the ink is still wet. So I'm going to take it off right now. All right. So that's how it came out, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take my brush and do some touch-ups because I didn't press hard enough in some parts. Definitely make sure you press hard the way that, with like even pressure. So make sure that you press hard enough on your design, but I'm just going to touch it up with my paintbrush. That's why we have our brushes. I'll be back after I finish touching it up. All right, so I cleaned it up a bit, and look at that. It's my little design on my pouch, and you are done. You can reuse your screen as many times as you want. There's some extra ink there should be, so you should be able to reuse your screen. You do want to heat set this. You can take some parchment paper. Once it's completely dry, you want to let this dry like as much as possible. Let this actually dry overnight, and then put parchment paper on and then iron it, and that way it's heat set, and so you can throw it in the wash. You can like put it in the dryer, like whatever you want to do with it, and it won't crackle, because if you don't heat set it, it will probably crackle. But yeah, so that is our craft for today. Again, I'm Miss Justine, and thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you at the library soon. Bye-bye.